Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Kazal13 Games and More here again for another brand new YouTube video. Today's video is me gonna be basically giving you guys something that new beginners to Minecraft need. So this is gonna be my beginner's guide and how to play the game. Now, because there is so many versions of Minecraft, and obviously we've got 1.18 coming soon. So my beginner's guide for this is basically just going to be telling you guys in like things you should be doing and stuff, and things you shouldn't be doing. But this is something I thought of doing on my own and stuff. So yeah, let's crack on with the video. So those of you who are on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, or basically Bedrock Edition, now for a good beginner, for me, I would always recommending you put in a bonus chest into your world. Now the reason why I recommend you put a bonus chest in your world is because you always get a starter pickaxe and a starter axe. It can either be wooden, stone. Sometimes you can get lucky and get them as all stone. You also get yourself bits of starter wood and sticks, just like this. So as you can see, 6 wood, 5 sticks and 1 log. You also get yourselves a bit of food like bread, apples, maybe even raw salmon, or even a potato. Sometimes it can also be carrots, I think, but yeah. Also you get your own little starter seeds just for when you need to make some crops. But obviously it'll either be beetroot seeds, I think, or something like that. So yeah. So once you've gotten all these, now what I recommend you guys do is, obviously the first thing you want to do is you want to get 4 wood, of course, and just go make yourself a crafting table, just like that. Just like that, and boom, you've got a crafting table right away off of the game, and you're in like day 1. Next step, I recommend you make a wooden sword. Now this is my tips, this is how I play the game. I usually make a wooden sword just for hunting down things that contain wool. Now obviously containing wool and stuff is one of your main priorities in the first day of survival, especially when you spawn somewhere not close to a village. So obviously you want to just try and find yourself 3 sheep, plus you do get yourself a starter range of wool as well, so that's actually a good thing. So yeah, you get yourself a good range of starter wool, and as you can see, sometimes you will find it on the floor because of wolves. So this is my basically beginner's guide for day 1, of course, in Minecraft. So once you get 3 wool, you'll be able to use the wood you've gained from the bonus chest to make a lot more wood, and then you can literally do this: make yourself a straight up bed. So there you go, you'll have a bed and obviously, as you see on the screen, a respawn point, and yeah, it can only say you can sleep at night. So after you've done that, after you've actually gone and done that, I'm going to get into the next tip. So this was tip number 2 of my beginner's guide. So here we are for tip number 3. Now tip number 3, you'll use whatever kind of axe you've gotten and just start collecting wood, because you are going to need wood, because wood is a priority resource. So I recommend grab about, I will say, a rough amount of, I'm going to say grab a rough amount of 16 logs, basically, because if you grab 16 oak logs, so let's just grab 16 right now. So as once as you grab 16 or 17, you'll then have enough wood to make a nice little shelter. Now the main thing is once as you get your wood, you obviously want to turn it all into wood. So as you can see, we've got quite a bit of wood and stuff. And this wood that you actually gain from that will allow you to either make a little starter base, or just something casual, like maybe you might want to get some doors for like a little cave entrance or something. So yeah, let's go to tip number 4. So yeah, this is tip number 4. As you can see, I'm holding my wooden pick. So for tip number 4, you just want to start gathering some stone. Now, if I was you and you're grabbing cobblestone, I recommend you grab approximately of 16 cobblestone, because 16 cobblestone will allow you to get the authentic tools for what you need. So you just need to grab about 16. It doesn't matter where you are, all that matters is you get 16 cobble, and I'll show you why in just a sec. So let's say we go over to the crafting table now. So if we go over to here, we will be able to, first off, we'll be able to make for instance, a furnace. So as you can tell, we've got a furnace to start smelting up food. And now with the other 8 cobble, for instance, you can make yourself a stone pickaxe, get an upgraded pick. Now obviously if your starter tool is a stone axe, you don't need to worry about a stone axe, but if it was wooden, just like the pickaxe, you will need to craft a wooden axe. But now what I recommend you guys do, because sometimes you might not be able to survive your first night because you might not have a bed, so what I recommend you do is you get an upgrade to a stone sword. Is that on to tip number 4, I think? Or 5? I think it's 5. Guys, this is tip number 5. Now tip number 5 requires a wooden sword. Now for tip number 5, I recommend you just look around, and as you can see, you got chickens. Just kill them. Just kill them. Just hunt any kind of mob down that you can ever find, because for tip number 5, what I recommend you guys doing for tip number 5 is you just start hunting as much food as you can get. But also, due to the fact you mined trees down as well, I do recommend you keep an eye on your trees, because trees, especially oak ones, they contain apples. So I recommend you just keep your eyes out on the floor for any type of animal apples to drop. But while you're doing that, and while you're waiting for the sun to go down, just keep in mind that it is coming night and stuff. So just recommend you just stay as close as you can to your bed, and remember where your bed is, like even if it means knowing where your coordinates are, because as you can tell, it is coming night. So you just run back here to your little base that you got going on here. You can either watch the sunset go down, guys, or you can just do the right thing and go to bed. Now for step number 6 that I'm going to be doing, or is it, oh I don't know, I actually don't know, but yeah, for the next tip I'm going to be showing you a little trick. So yes, hey guys, so for tip number 6 that we're on now, so those of you who don't have a bed, well if you do have a bed, I recommend you go to sleep. But those of you who actually don't have a bed, get your stone sword ready, because if you guys don't have a bed in the first day before night, you are going to be facing against loads of mobs, creatures of the night. You're going to be facing against like zombies, and you're going to need a good sword to take all these guys out. So as you can tell, and look, you've got no protection. The only protection you've got on you is your sword. And obviously you don't want to be coming across these guys, and these guys are the most annoying mobs in game, and they are known as creepers. So yeah, just keep in mind that in the night you just take out as much mobs as you can get and stuff, and obviously be aware, because you could come across witches, you could come across creepers, you could come across all types of mobs. And obviously if you don't sleep, they're just going to keep spawning. But those of you who do have a bed, I recommend you don't fight off your first night. I recommend if you have a bed, you go to sleep. So then when it comes day, you'll be safe from all the dead. Because look, as you can tell, the dead are dying, like the zombies and stuff. And this is when all the friendly mobs start spawning. Like, look at that. You've just seen a sheep, and then you just seen 2 more sheep spawn in. So that allows you to go and gather up more food. So guys, this one is tip number 7. And for tip number 7, we are going to go and get some coal. Because coal can be quite useful in early game. So I'm going to show you tips and tricks. So you can either go mining for your coal just like this. But guys, I recommend you grab some coal, like just simple, just a bit of coal like this, just to get yourself started off with. But now, here's a tip, right? If you guys can't find any coal whatsoever, there are a few more little tips and tricks you can do to cook your food. And I'm going to show you those tips and tricks. So tip number 1. Tip number 1 is either get some coal, like this. Just like this. Tip number 2, if you can't find coal, use some of your wood that you've got right away in early game, like this, but switch the woods around. So you got oak logs here. So, because as you can tell, oak logs will cook, but make sure you just get enough wood in there, because wood can cook down quite fast. So if you can't get anything like normal coal in early game, get some logs, cook them up, and it'll make something called charcoal. Now, guys, if you guys can't actually get yourself access to any of them, well, I mean, you will get your access to thingy charcoal, but if you want a faster way of cooking things, I recommend you come over here and you get yourself a campfire. And here's the recipe right here for a campfire, and then boom, you get yourself a campfire just like this. And campfires are quite useful because they allow you to cook. Let's say we cook up our mutton. Boom, 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 boom. It allows you to cook up your mutton. So yeah, tip number 7 complete. So for tip number 8, you will come and pick up your mutton just like this. But for tip number 8, what I recommend you guys doing is I recommend you guys go ahead and build yourself a little starter home. Just like this. Just something nice and small that you can fit your bed in and stuff. So you just basically then move your bed over into the new house, of course. Just like that. And now what I recommend you do, just to keep floor space and stuff, I recommend you do this. So you just grab your crafting table like this. You grab your furnace as well. And then what I recommend you guys doing is I recommend you just throw your things down just like this on the floor. And then obviously you'd want a door, because obviously you'd have enough wood to make a door. So yeah, this is how you make your starter home. And obviously this is obviously step number 8 of my beginner's guide. So with these so yeah, and obviously if you want, guys, you also could do with getting yourself some torches. Now obviously the crafting recipe for torches needs sticks. Now I recommend you come here, because I mean a bonus chest also gives you access to at least 2 to 4 torches. Sometimes you can get lucky and get all 4 torches that are around it. Sometimes it can just be 2. Sometimes it can be 1. But what I recommend you guys doing is putting a torch inside there, and then get some torches put around your little area. Just to give this guy, the reason why I'm telling you guys to get some torches around this location is just to keep it nice and bright. So yeah. Now this is where things can get thingy. So for tip number 9, what I recommend you guys doing with the amount of food you got, it could be little food, it could be a lot of food, but what I recommend you guys doing is you if you have a cave like this one, what I recommend you guys doing is just make a little stairway so you don't make any fall damage, and you come mining. Now mining can be quite dangerous, so what I recommend you doing is you craft yourself some sticks and you get yourself a few torches. Don't use all your fuel, like all your coal. And then what I recommend you guys doing is, I recommend you guys look around each area of a cave, even if it leads to dead ends. But if you guys do lead to dead ends, pick your torches up, guys. Don't leave your torches laying around just like this. But what I want you guys to do on tip number 9 is you just want to come down and you want to be looking for this. You just want to find yourself some early access of iron, because iron can come good in early game as well, because iron allows you to make armor, and with armor you can make yourself a gear full of stuff. So this is only a beginner's guide on how to start Minecraft, but if you guys like this content, please smash the like button. So you just want to keep looking around and seeing what you can find down in the caves. You may come across iron like this, but sometimes you might find it as a vein, like just like this. This is a vein of 4, I think. Maybe it might be more. It could be more. I stand corrected. Oh wait, yeah, so that one was a vein of 5. Now, what I recommend you doing is mining as much as you can while you're in a cave, because if you don't get as much as you can, you could then end up, yeah, but if you get 7, now the trick is, if you get 7, I recommend you craft the best armor, well, the best piece of armor, but what I recommend you guys doing as well is grabbing yourself a little bit more resources, especially if it's coal, because you will need more coal for in-game, because you need coal for your fuel, you need coal for anything really, you need coal for a lot of things, quite a lot of things. Now if you realise, throughout day 1 your inventory will get pretty full, so my other best piece of advice for you guys to take in is, make sure you come back up here nice and safely, don't be falling down any holes. So what I recommend you do now is, firstly, throw your iron in thingy. Now, a vein, like this. Now with fuel, if you want to save fuel and you have like 7, or if you have 7 iron, just use coal. Just use coal. If you have 7 or 8 coal, just use 1 piece of coal. But if you guys have 9 or 10 or 11, use a bit of coal and a bit of wood, because it'll save you resources. So after you've gotten this lot, after you've got your bit of iron cooking, now if you realize something, your inventory is going to be getting full slowly. So what I recommend you guys doing with the bit of wood you've got is making yourself 1 big chest. Now your big chest will have to go outside, unfortunately. It can go anywhere outside, by the way, guys. So yes. So I'm going to follow you up on tip number 10 in a second. So yes, guys, we are on tip number 7. Now with tip number 7, you realise you've got 7 iron ingots. Now this is where you need to really use your iron wisely. What I recommend you doing is, firstly, get a piece of armor. Now I recommend you use your iron wisely at this point, so I recommend you get an iron helmet, just like that to get your head protection. And then with the other bit of iron, I recommend you get an iron sword, because as you can see, this is tip number 10, it's cave night again. You got a little bit of protection on you, you've got a better equipped weapon, you'll also need your food out, so don't eat it all. Now here's a thing for this tip, right? I'm going to show you guys on how. So basically, remove your stone sword and wooden sword out your inventory, or just throw them away, and then basically have your tools equipped like this. Have it as pickaxe, axe, then sword, then have your food equipped in the other hand, like that. Now what you want to do is, obviously you might see this happen to your door, so you just want to fight, you just don't want to get attacked. You don't want to get attacked. So obviously you want to get fighting. Now for mobs like chickens, you can literally just 2-hit them and they're dead. Just like that. So obviously if you've only got 3 chicken, just make sure you just throw them on the fire, because it'll just cook faster. And then basically grab thing, like if you're one of those people who are on day 2, this is the best piece of advice for day 2, because you'll have stronger materials, a stronger sword to fight mobs like these annoying things known as creepers. So yeah, you just want to keep fighting creepers. Now gunpowder can come in use for later on purposes. Now for some people, especially me, if you guys are like me, try and hunt spiders down in early game, because spiders do tend to drop string. Now string can be useful for certain things. You can use the string to make wool. You can use the string to make a bow, and now a bow is good, but the only way to get your arrows in early game is by killing skeletons. But now as you can see, we got 1 piece of string. Now with string, there are 3 things you can craft with string, and I'm going to show you right now. Those 3 things that can be crafted with string are, let's go down here. So with string, you will be able to craft, hang on, let's go. See, look, you'll be able to craft wool. That's item number 1. Now if you go to tools, you'll be able to make a bow in early game if you can gather the resources. You can craft, I wouldn't recommend you get a tripwire and a one of these in early game, because I mean, yeah. A shield, another good piece of equipment. If you get like 8 iron, I recommend helmet, sword, and shield. Then there you go. But you can also get your hands onto a fishing rod with 2 string. Now a fishing rod is good for early game, because it doesn't just allow you to get your XP up, guys. It allows you to also get food, and I mean food and some OP enchanting books, and even the chance to get enchanting OP bows. So as you can tell, we've got 3 wool, 3 string right here, and obviously your food should be cooked by now. So yeah, I'm gonna go on to tip number 11 in a sec. Now tip number 11 of my beginner's guide. So now with 3 string, would you rather go for a bow or a fishing rod? Me personally, no arrows yet, so I personally think you guys should go for the fishing rod. Now as you see, as I talked about inventory space, it will get full. So what I want you to do is use the double chest you crafted earlier on in game. Just go like this, so as you can tell it's empty. Just throw things in there that you don't ever gonna use or won't use just yet, like all of this, all this. Even throw your raw food in there, because I mean, when are you gonna use your raw food? Like especially your fish and stuff, and your seeds, throw them in, because you're not gonna make a farm yet. So yeah. Now what I recommend you do is you just go fishing for a bit. Now fishing can be known as a waiting game, but sometimes you can get lucky like that. Now puff fishes in early game aren't useful. So yeah, as you can see, this is my way of getting food. Just like that. So I recommend you use your fishing rod wisely and go fishing. So let's get on to step number 12, shall we? For step number 12, what you just really want to do for step number 12, now this is where the fun bit is, because on step number 12, this is where you're going to grab everything that's useful to you. Like for instance, you're going to grab all your useful food that's going to be useful for you, like all this. You're going to grab your wood, you're going to grab your wood, whatever cobblestone you got, you're just going to grab it. You're literally just going to grab it your seeds, you're going to grab them as well because you will need them earlier on, and you're going to grab your coal and obviously your fishing rod and torches. Now another thing you want to quickly grab now is your bed, your crafting table, and your furnace, because you're at the point now of the stage of the game where you can start going on a quest, or in my words of saying it, is an adventure. So just look around at what you've got around you first, because you might see that you got a plains biome, or you might see you've got some, it depends what kind of player you are, and it depends on which way you want to go. Now personally I recommend you just follow your instincts and find a plains biome just like this. You got the mountain biomes over there, in other words extreme hills. But if you guys do end up finding a plains biome like we have, I recommend you look around, see what kind of places you've got. You might have really good cave systems, you may have food lurking about like this cow, so you just want to go and slay it of course for more food. Now obviously I wouldn't keep killing mobs as you go along, because you're gonna waste your durability of your iron sword. Now that is something you guys don't want to do, is waste your durability on it. You just want to adventure and just try and look out for something you can actually sell. And there's another thing guys, when you're on your quests or adventures, as soon as you start leaving, I recommend you look out for this guys, because sugarcane is useful in later game access, because you do need sugarcane, because sugarcane's good for paper, and paper, man, you can get a sugarcane farm, because I know a lot of players these days, they tend to like to have a sugarcane farm. What I also recommend you do on this tip is, when you're adventuring, make sure you collect wood. Now collecting wood can easily slow you down, so don't be spending too much time grabbing wood from don't just stand at one place getting wood, because it will waste your time. So I will catch you guys back in step number 13. So for tip number 13 guys, when you're adventuring guys, I really would recommend, if you see anything like these, a pillager outpost, my piece of advice is, because due to the resources you've got on you, that even includes food, that includes armor, you are not ready to take on a pillager raid. You are not ready to take on the pillager outposts. No way in Jose are you ready to take on those pillager outposts. So as you can tell, on your third day of Minecraft as well, your likelihood chance of rain is quite high, as you just seen it started raining. Now unfortunately when it rains, you can't sleep through rain, and you players might think it's annoying. So if it starts raining in your guys' game, there are a lot of things you can do while it's raining. You can continue adventuring like I am, you can make a house, or you can just go mining like a normal person would. But as a witch, I recommend you guys stay away from pillager outposts. Now I recommend you do that due to the fact they're dangerous, they're risk takes, and they are really dangerous to go to. Let alone they have a lot of pillagers. You ain't got the weapons or resources to take on a full pillager raid. Well, you know what I mean. So as you can see, we have located a village. Now a village, it is a good place, but there is a problem with villages. The likelihood chance of you getting a normal village and an abandoned village is practically a 50-50 ranking with me, because I've had normal villages a lot and abandoned villages as my first village. Now if it's a normal village, then you guys are lucky, because if it's a normal village, you actually have a good place to settle down. Like, I mean, you have a good place to settle down. As you can see, we have a normal village right here. But as of which, what I recommend you do, guys, is make sure you grab a lot of sugarcane. So as you can see on our quest, we found 26 sugarcane. Now that is actually useful for us. And so is this village. Now the reason why a village is actually going to be useful for you, because if you come to these houses, sometimes you can expect a blast furnace in them, but sometimes you can get lucky. So let's say we go in here. Now this ain't going to have anything in it either, unfortunately, but you will get some houses like this, some nice big ones. You'll get these nice big ones as well. Now these ones are a blooming pain in the blooming thing, because yeah, but yeah, as you can see, you got a trading system right now. So you push them off the chest, but then you can get easy access to a bit of bread, easy access to some apples, easy access to a bit of potatoes from these. Then all you want to do after that is boom, go to sleep in the village, and then there you go. So yes, guys, we are on tip number 14 now. Now this tip number 14 is basically after you've gone for your first night in a village or a town or whatever it's meant to be called, you will then you are probably curious into knowing what's around the village and what surrounds this village. Well, the best thing for you guys to do is basically go on an adventure. Well, not an adventure, you've just been for an adventure to find a village. I recommend all you do is just look around the village, see what loot you can grab, because I mean the villagers aren't going to use this loot. Just look at that, you can literally stack up on good food, good vegetarian and stuff. And obviously sometimes you can go to villagers, see what they trade, and if you've got the equipment to trade with them, you can do that. Now what I recommend you do, if you see carrots, because I mean look at this, we've got in every single crop except carrots. So what you want to do is you just want to grab some carrots, just like this. Then what I recommend you guys doing is replanting the carrots just so they can grow back. Now you want to do it for both areas of the crop, and then replant, because you're basically borrowing from villagers. Now I know some people might say villagers don't even care about their crops, but still, please return it. Now this is the time of the day where this guy will spawn in, the absolute useless villager. So let's see what he's got anyways. He's got an, okay, the only good thing, because this is 1.17, so the only good thing for these guys are the dripstone, and the other new stuff are, but that's really it. There's not really much good use for them. Now guys, now this is the interesting part. If you guys see this happening in any of your worlds, because obviously the iron golem is important, make sure you don't hit him, guys, because you might want to live at the village and make it more better, upgrade it and stuff, just like what I've done in Home Sweet Home. So what you want to do is free the golem, just so he can wander around the village. But what I recommend you guys doing is still have a look around the village, see what builds they got, because sometimes you could come across a blacksmith, you could come across a cleric. Now clerics are quite useful for proximate things. You can get your bottle of enchanting, you can get anything really. So what I recommend you do, as soon as you find a house, I recommend you either live in one of the houses, or you can renovate the house, make it bigger, just like that one. Or what you can do is you can just go a little bit out of the village, not too far out of the village, and make your own house. But for me, I'm personally going to stay at the village because it's nicer. So yeah, on to step number 15. So yes guys, we are on tip number 15 for your beginner's guide. Now obviously for tip number 15 there's nothing really much to do for tip number 15, because as you can tell in your inventory you've got everything possible, just everything possible that you possibly need for your survival. Like you've got food, you've got wood, you've got your bed, you've got tools, you've gotten everything you possibly need. Now, for those who play multiplayer, you are aware you do get an early access to an empty locator map. I recommend if you play a multiplayer, you have these on, just so you know where your friends are and stuff. And I recommend when you're playing multiplayer, stick with your friends, don't be wandering off. So yeah. So yes guys, this is my beginner's tip for Minecraft, and for those of you who are new to the game. So yeah, I recommend you follow each tip nicely, and yeah. So yes guys, I hope you did enjoy today's Minecraft little guide of survival. So yeah. So yes guys, this was my Minecraft beginner's guide. I hope you all did enjoy today's Minecraft beginner guide, and if you guys did enjoy today's Minecraft beginner's guide, smash that like button to show all the love and support, and put in the comments, and make sure guys you put in the comments in what you guys think I should do for the next video guys and stuff, because I am willing to bring anything to this channel. If you guys want another beginner's guide or any type of guide to Minecraft, please put it in the comments down below. And if you guys want any reviews, make sure you put them down. And if you guys want some reaction videos, put them down below guys. But yes guys, without further ado, I hope you did enjoy today's Minecraft beginner's guide video. And without further ado, I will see you all in the next video. And also guys, make sure you subscribe and also smash the like button to help these nitwits get a job. So yes guys, bye everybody. Peace out guys.